According to all the other reviews, River Heights #2 is... Oh, there are no other people who have reviewed this book. Just me. Awkward.
Argo Font Book Review. Argo Font Book Review.
Nikki is hanging out with her friends, setting up a banner for homecoming. Quick reminder, Robin is dating a science guy named Calvin Roth, and they're a big couple now. He is all that she can think about. Lacey's a little worried about Robin's new relationship, but Lacey's probably just jealous because her boyfriend isn't important enough to appear in the book. Jeremy Pratt appears and makes a snotty remark about Nikki. She notes he must still be holding a grudge against her. Again, I think he's like Lacey, he's just jealous the author's gonna ignore him for the entire book. Poor main characters, angry because this book demotes them to secondary characters. The girls talk about how much they want to have their own cars when Nancy Drew appears. Hey, Nancy, nice to see ya! She's not here to solve a mystery, sadly. She's here because she's the head of the alumni committee for homecoming this year. She just picked Nikki as her student coordinator. Oh, sure, Nancy picks her next-door neighbor to help her. Like, that's not biased. Brittany Tate is understandably upset to hear the news because she was supposed to be the student coordinator for homecoming. That was one of the minor scenes in the previous book that I skipped over in my review. Ben Newhouse, the junior class president, gave her the job. Well, turns out he was just lying to get her to do all of his work. What a jerk! Nikki feels kind of bad for Brittany, so the girls decide to forget their differences and become friends again. The truce lasts for 1 page. Because as soon as Nikki leaves, Brittany throws a huge temper tantrum over how much she hates perfect Nikki, and gets everything she wants without even trying, rah, rah, rah. Nikki has some lovey-dovey time with her dreamy boyfriend, Tim. He talks about how she's the best thing that happened to him. He's so glad he found her. She just giggles and feels so happy. But on the drive home, he seems angry and tense. Nikki starts to ask about his huge mood swing, but she's distracted by a brand new car! Yes, Grandpa bought her a fancy blue Camaro for no particular reason. You're the best, Grandpa. But it's not all wonderful. As the cover indicates, Nikki's hot new car is making Tim cool off. Does he look happy? He looks like a 30-year-old model, not a teenager. But anyway, once he sees the car, Tim can't get away fast enough. So strange. Nikki drives her friends to school the next day, and they decide Tim is acting strange because he secretly wants to drive Nikki's car. You know how much guys hate it when their girlfriends drive instead of them? I, have never heard of that stereotype before, but sure, let's go with that. The boyfriend talk makes Robin get defensive because she and Calvin had a huge fight last night. But then the two of them start making out in the parking lot, so I guess they must have gotten over it. Brittany is furious when she sees Nikki's new car because once again, Nikki gets everything without even trying. This awakens the beast inside of Brittany, and she hatches up an evil scheme to ruin Nikki forever! More on that in a moment. Tim and Nikki patch up their problems by making date plans. Nikki's so happy he's talking to her again. She can't believe she ever doubted his love for her. But things go badly after school when Nikki offers to let Tim drive her car. He is shocked and dumbfounded. Sort of like he was shocked and dumbfounded when Nikki wore a black skirt in the previous book. It doesn't take much to shock Tim, I've noticed. Anyway, he cancels their date, he makes up an excuse about some chemistry test or whatever, and runs away as soon as possible. Nikki wants to cry. Is he gonna break up with her? Why is Tim being so cold and distant? Does he just hate blue cars or something? The homecoming people have a planning meeting at Nancy Drew's house. They're gonna have a football field float, which doubles as a cake for some reason. The plan is they're gonna do a joke football sketch on top of the float. It's a cross-dressing sketch because, hey, why not? Let's have everybody cross-dress. Jack Reilly will play head cheerleader, while famous singer alumna Claire will play the football captain. The skit ends when they wave batons at each other and the batons shoot out confetti. It's just a big joke thing. And this brings us to Brittany's evil plan to destroy Nikki forever. She is modifying the batons, secretly, so instead of spitting out confetti, They spit out shaving cream! The joke sketch will be ruined, and Nikki's reputation will be destroyed forever! Ha ha ha! This is stupid. Like, really stupid. Switching out confetti for shaving cream isn't going to ruin the sketch. If anything, people will think it makes the joke sketch even funnier. But let's pretend the plan makes sense and everybody's horrified by the shaving cream. So what? Why would everybody instantly blame Nikki for everything? If anything, Nancy would get to blame for it because she's the one in charge of the sketch. I don't know, maybe Brittany isn't thinking clearly because she's distracted by Jack Reilly. Oh man, that guy is good looking. She makes a special point of capturing his interest, but when he starts talking to her, she gets tongue-tied, and that never happens. Tim avoids Nikki for the next few days, and she gets more and more worried about him. When she confronts him directly, he brushes it off by saying he's been busy with school and his best friend Carl, who just drove down from Chicago. Carl seems like a nice guy at first, but then he turns kind of sleazy when he sees Brittany and tries to put the moves on her. She decides that he's a self-absorbed geek, and she especially doesn't like how he isn't playing hard to get.
Doesn't he know boys are supposed to be cold and aloof?
Like Tim, except not like Tim, because he's bad and I don't understand teen romance. Brittany trying to make a play for Jack instead, but Carl messes things up for her. What a dork. Tim and Nikki get into a fight, although it's not an argument, it's more like her begging him to explain what's going on, and he just stares in silence. She cries a lot, and eventually he admits he does have a big secret, but he can't tell her about it now. Funny thing is, he said that at the end of the first book. Nikki just forgot about it. Continuity! The secret comes out when Nikki talks to Carl. See, Tim's buddy Alex got drunk at a party. Tim wanted to drive him home, but Alex said he was good enough to drive by himself. They got into a car crash and Alex died instantly. Ever since then, Tim has blamed himself and Camaros for the accident. It's a tragic story, but why did Tim have to keep it a big secret? He could have said, "Sorry, Nikki, your car reminds me of my friend who died in a car crash." No need to go into detail about his role in the accident if he didn't want to. But no, Tim milked the secret for maximum drama with multiple breakups and reunions. So much for him being the perfect boyfriend. Brittany's prank backfires on her when Claire can't make it to the show. Brittany is forced to take Claire's place in the sketch. I mean, she has to. She can't say no in front of Jack. So she and Jack get covered in shaving cream, and for a few pages she worries that her life is now officially over. But of course it's not. Everyone says the sketch was great, and Jack asks Brittany to homecoming, so she comes out smelling like roses, and also smelling like wet shaving cream. She really should shower and get that stuff off of her hair. Seriously though, Jack asks her to homecoming dance while the homecoming football game is going on? Talk about a last-minute decision. Nikki and Tim kiss and make up as she talks to him about the car accident. They bond over the fact that both of them have been subject to murder investigations. It's romantic and odd. The book ends with a cliffhanger. Robin's in the girls' locker room, puffy-eyed and pale, almost like she's been crying a lot. Later on, she sneaks out of homecoming dance to drive off with her boyfriend. Nikki can't help but feel something is wrong. The end. Post-book follow-up. Remember the end of the last book where Brittany convinced Tim to help her with the homecoming show? What happened with that? They set up that plot line only to not include it in this book. Continuity! I originally had 5 paragraphs of notes to talk about here until I noticed they all focused on Brittany. I know Nikki's supposed to be the main character of the series, but she's kind of bland. Brittany is more interesting because she struggles between wanting to be a good person and wanting to destroy Nikki's life forever. There was this neat scene where Brittany and Nikki talked during lunch, and Brittany almost decided to call off her evil scheme. It was also interesting to see Brittany interact with her sister, because they have a similar love-hate relationship. It was just interesting. In contrast, Nikki has no internal conflict. She gets overly excited when things go well with Tim, and she starts crying when things go badly. That's all. That's all she does. Their relationship goes up and down like a roller coaster over and over again. I quickly got sick of this storyline, especially when I correctly guessed what Tim's problem was, and I didn't think it was worth any of the drama. Overall, I enjoyed reading this book the first time, but not the second time. Tim's drama could easily have been avoided, and Brittany's evil scheme was a dud. I think the problem is that I was never really sold on the idea that Tim and Nikki are a perfect couple, so I was half rooting for Nikki to dump the guy and get a boyfriend who's willing to talk to her about things, instead of lying about things over and over again. I give River Heights number 2, Guilty Secrets, a 6 out of 10.